Hey, this is Dan, and I've got a few choice words for you. I read The Richest Man in Babylon, a really good read. Highly recommend the book. It's written by George Clason in 1926, and he's writing a parable about the city of Babylon, which was the richest city in the world about 4,000 years ago. That's modern day Iraq, middle of a desert, and they had the most wealthy city in the world at the time. Essentially, the king sent for the richest guy in the kingdom and said, "How come you're so rich?" And the king told him why. And the king said, "Do you think you can teach other people how to do that?" And so Arcad, the wealthiest, the richest man in Babylon, he grabbed 100 of the local citizens, sat them down, and he told them all of his secrets. And I guess it worked because they got a reputation as the richest city around. So first thing Arcad does is he sits these 100 guys down and he says, "I'm going to teach you the 7 ways to 7 cures for having a lean purse, so having no money in your wallet, right?" Essentially he says save money. If you've got $10, only spend 9. So save 10% of your money and do something with it. Number 2 is control your expenses. Make sure that you know the difference between your needs and your desires. So might seem that you want everything, but that's a desire and not a need. So the third is making your gold multiply, and that's investing it in something, and it's something that's not risky. It's a safe bet. So you want a single rather than a home run, and that's guarding your treasure from loss. So don't invest in ridiculously large paybacks, right? You want to make sure that you get your money back. Warren Buffett, his number 1 rule is never lose money, and his number 2 rule is refer back to rule number 1. And so he's perhaps the most successful investor in history, and certainly one of the wealthiest men on the planet, so I think he's worth listening to. Number 6 is ensuring a future income. So someday you're going to retire. Maybe you'll be dead. Maybe you'll be too sick to work, but you want to make sure you've got some money socked away for that day. You want to look after yourself. You want to look after your significant other and your family. Number 7 is kind of hard for me to put into words, but it's increase your ability to earn. So he says basically increase your worth, try hard, improve. With more interest, you have more concentration, more persistence. You'll produce better quality work. People will want to pay more money for it. Your skills will be in demand. Essentially, it means that you could probably get paid more, or you might be able to switch jobs and get paid more there, or whatever. But it's working harder. Okay, there's that word work again. So anyway, the richest man in Babylon, he also teaches the 5 laws of gold. Let's see. Gold will come easily and quickly to someone that saves 10% of their income, and then you invest it. So you save that 10%, you invest it, and you'll get some back. Gold will work with speed and diligence for somebody that finds a good place to invest. So you're making money, it'll come back to you. It's a good thing. Gold you'll be able to hang on to your gold if you listen to smart people. You got to pay for somebody for advice, that's great. If you're talking to your neighbor about advice, it's probably not the best thing, because the wise guy, the smart guy, he knows what he's talking about. Your neighbor probably doesn't. And your neighbor probably doesn't have the guts to invest anyway. So, gold will run away as fast as it can from someone who invests their money in places that they don't understand, with stuff that they're not familiar with. So I don't know what your thing is, what you know, but that's a good place to start. I invested in something I didn't know very well, and it cost me. So I'm not happy about that. But I learned a valuable lesson, and I'll never do it again. And gold will run away from people that expect impossible things from it. So if you're going to invest your money in something that's going to promise you really ridiculous returns, if it looks too good to be true, it probably is sort of the lesson. So realistic expectations, guys. But as you go along in The Richest Man in Babylon, you learn about the wealthiest guy, Arcad, but there's also some other intelligent people in this city, and one of them's a gold lender, and he teaches a few lessons along the way too. So if you're going to help your buddy out, some of the lessons are like this. If you're going to help your buddy out, make sure that it's not at your expense. So there's a story about a donkey and a bull, and the donkey sort of sits there and says, "Hey bull, why are you working so hard?" So the bull fakes that he's sick, and then the donkey has to do his work for him. So the bull pulled one over on the donkey, and the donkey wasn't happy about it. There's also a story about a little caution, then a great regret, and it is a good idea to be cautious sometimes. Rather than having a story that you can tell down the road, so that people will feel sorry for you about whatever you did that you shouldn't have. There's the talk about having adequate insurance. Adequate protection, I think, is the wording. And you can take that in a few ways. One is savings for your future, one is investments for your future, and another is insurance. I don't think they had insurance back in the day. Certainly, it's everywhere now, so I think it's a good idea to have it. There's also the one about determination. So if you want to get something done, like there's a story about a camel trader. He's a slave and he wants to be a free man. And so he starts baking cakes and selling them on the side, and eventually he gets enough money that he can buy his own freedom, and away he goes. Right? There's always a way, you just have to figure out what it is. So with determination, a way can be found. So if you look for it and you work hard, you'll find your way, whatever it might be. Talks about it seems that people that make their money come from humble beginnings. I mean, the stories in the book are about people who were slaves that became wealthy men. These teach you lessons. I can't teach you how to be born from rich parents or win the lottery. Believe me, I'd love to be able to, but I can't. And the underlying motif here, guys, in The Richest Man in Babylon, besides these 7 cures for having a lean purse, beside the 5 rules for gold, is working hard. Okay? I can't teach you that, but I can tell you just how valuable that skill is. Hard work will get you anywhere that you want to go. Alright, so, get up early, stay late, but work real hard and make the difference. And that attitude will be the difference between the thing that makes you a slave at what you do and the thing that makes you a free man at what you do. So anyway, highly recommend The Richest Man in Babylon. Educational, interesting, and a good read. You can knock it off in a weekend pretty easily. George Clayson wrote it, 144 pages if I remember right. Okay, so go and pick it up. It's a must-read for anybody that wants to get a grip on their personal finances and move forward from there. Thank you very much. That was a few choice words from Dan.